Yeah? So some of us can rap, some of us can write, some of us can talk, some of us can preach, some of us can prophesy, some of us can dream, some of us have different types of giftings. And the Lord wants us to use each one of these giftings for His kingdom and to give Him glory. May just said it, He wants you to go back to school and He wants you to be examples and be lights at the school. Well, the Lord put something on my heart tonight, and the Lord gives me spoken word. And there's a poem I wrote called Kaiser, Sosa. There's one thing I do not want. My daughter is in the crowd too. She's 13. Sable right there. Everybody look at her, make her feel really uncomfortable. My fiance is right there as well. Carissa, make her feel really uncomfortable. Here's the thing, guys. A lot of us who are older, we have stories to tell. And the truth is that the Lord led me out of a lot of darkness. And when I was you guys' age, when I was 12 years old, I started doing drugs. And I carried that path on for a number of years, and I almost died myself. I tried to commit suicide, and I should have been dead. After the Lord saved me, He started to reveal to me something that I had never really understood. I have an enemy who wants to kill me. I have an enemy who wants to destroy me. And he's constantly behind the scenes talking to my head, my heart, my friends, and everybody I know, and everything I watch and everything I see. He is trying to kill me, and he's trying to take, now, my children. And he's trying to take you guys. So this poem is called Kaiser Sosa. I hope this speaks to you. And what it's all about is understanding that you have an enemy. Because if you don't understand that you have an enemy, you will never understand why you're going through some of the things you're going through. Here goes. So some would think that the devil's objective is this, to fool the world into thinking that God doesn't even exist. But that is simply not the truth of it. You see, he knows there's a God-shaped hole built into every living soul with a carcass. And that loneliness alone would keep us in unhappiness. And it would make us go and search for the answer that would fill us with bliss. No. The greatest trick the devil ever played on the human race is this, to make the world believe he does not exist. You see, that way we are free to find and be found by the one that gives us peace and creates and completes our pieces. And that will bring us joy and happiness. And as long as we believe that the devil does not exist, as long as we believe he is not a threat, as long as we think we're living in peacetime merriment, as long as we find ourselves in contentment, we will wax fat and our eyes are covered in scabs, and we have forgotten that we were begat into a war of judgment. And we're guilty of ruthless, stupid abandonment. And we are ignoring the truth that brought us to the state of mind where we knew we had to die to live and live to fight, and to deny this now, we are ignorant. To be content. To be content is to be complacent. And this trick played on us keeps us from fulfilling our purpose, which is to join the war going on right in front of our eyes and end our ignorance. The time is now. We are called to be a part of it. The hour is now. Rise, ye dogs of decadence. Don't you know you were called, all of you, to walk upright and sit at the table of the king's sustenance, sit at the table of the king's prominence, and eat of the bread and drink of the wine of the king's sustenance, for the sole purpose, to open the eyes of the blind and them left behind of your brothers and sisters who are still believing that the devil does not exist. Kaiser Sosa. Thank you, guys. I just wanted to share that with you. I want to encourage you before Kingdom Council comes back up. You guys have to understand, it's one thing to believe in God, and it's a whole nother thing to understand you have somebody plotting against you, trying to kill you. Because when you understand, in Corinthians, Paul wrote and said, we are no longer deceived by the devil's devices. You see, we use your parents. Use your parents. Listen to your elders. They've been through it, and though it doesn't sit well with you, they probably know most of the time what they're talking about. I promise you one thing that I did that I never thought I would do. I ended up in life looking back and saying my mom was right. And I never thought I would do that. And I almost died. And the last thing I'll say is, you are not promised tomorrow. You are not promised that you will not go to jail. You are not promised that you will live. You are not promised that you won't get addicted. You are not promised anything. I stand with a testimony, and the testimony is because I went through a test. God's mercy and His grace saw me through it. But I have friends who are in prison and who are spending their life there. I have family members in prison spending their life there, and I have friends who are dead. I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I want you to understand this stuff is real. Every decision you make matters. And there are people losing their lives and their salvations. And if we're not going to be a light and understand you got an enemy trying to take them, then we're not being the light. And we're letting other things happen. So thank you guys very much. Let's welcome up Kingdom Council again.